So now that our build's complete, it's time to find a vocal for our pre-drop. The pre-drop vocal is one of the most important parts of the track because a lot of times it's like the theme that the track takes on. You can sprinkle the vocal throughout the song. It can be used as turnarounds or transitions or just an overall great way to like reintroduce the theme into the song in different parts of the track. Another reason the pre-drop is such an important part of the track is because I think the end of the buildup and the beginning of the drop are the most impactful, vital sections of the song. I think if those parts are nailed and you can transition out of the build into the drop in a really powerful way, I think it just sets your whole song up for success. So that's why I spend so much time on the pre-drop, making sure I have the right vocal and just making sure that the build and the drop are tied together nicely. So let's flip through our sample pack and let's see if there's any good vocal phrases we can use for our pre-drop.
Welcome to the afterlife.
Fate is calling. We're not alone.
It's you and me through space and time.
Operate, dominate, elevate, generate.
I think this vocal phrase 5 will fit perfectly. If we drag this into our timeline, it's going to create a new audio track. And if we zoom in, we can see that this phrase is 2 bars long. We need it to take up 4 bars. So what I think we can do is we can chop up each one of these words and we'll just take the words and we'll put them at the beginning of each bar. So let's listen to a part of the buildup and hear what the pre-drop sounds like.
Operate, dominate, elevate, generate.
So I think this vocal phrase is going to work. We just definitely need to do a bit of cleanup. So we have the words operate, dominate, elevate, generate. And you can see that the word dominate is actually like the beginning of it is bleeding at the end of this first clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold command so we can adjust the ends of this clip without snapping to the grid. And I'm just going to shave off the little end of that.
Operate, dominate.
And then this dominate seems like it's starting a bit late. So what we can do is we can hold Shift, Option, and Command. I'm just going to drag this clip forward a bit. So let's listen to that.
Operate, dominate, elevate.
And I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to drag Elevate back and just shave off the end of that.
Operate, dominate, elevate, generate.
So that sounds good. It sounds nice and clean. Each word is starting at the right time, but it just sounds a bit empty when there's nothing going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an echo and I'm just going to leave the settings as is.
Operate, dominate, elevate, generate.
That's sounding really good. This is definitely going to work. But I think one thing we need to do is we need to tame the reverb tails of the breakdown synths and the drums. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a utility on the breakdown synths and I'm going to click on the gain so we can enable the gain automation. And I'm just going to highlight this whole pre-drop section and I'm going to just drag the volume down.
Dominate.
And I think we can drag it down even a bit more.
Operate, dominate, elevate, generate.
I like the overall volume of it, but I think this first point I can just drag up a bit. So it's being turned down, but it's turning down even more over time. And I think what I'm going to do is just copy over this utility to the drums and hear what that sounds like.
Dominate, elevate, generate.
So that sounds really good. I think we just need to turn the drums and the breakdown synths down. So when the vocals come in, they really punch through the mix. So let's just retitle this track pre-drop vocal and we're going to hit Command G and we're going to call this group vocals and we'll make them this yellow color. This is what I always make my vocals. So while we're at the pre-drop section, something else though I think it needs a fill going into the drop, especially during this last bar. So I think what I want to do is just quick go into the drums and let's see if there's anything for these drum fills that we can use. So I think I want to take this snare fill and I think I'm going to paste this for the last bar of this pre-drop. So let's listen to that.
Operate, dominate, elevate, generate.
Okay, so I think this is going to work, but I just want to slide this fill over. So it's actually starting at halfway through the last bar of the pre-drop.
Elevate, generate.
Okay, that's gonna work. That sounds really good. I think something we can do though, I think we have some clap fills in here. Maybe let's just copy this over to the end of
elevate, generate.
Now that sounds really good. I think we can actually turn up the gain though for this section. So I'm gonna go back to the drums. I'm gonna highlight this last little half bar. Then I'm gonna hold shift and just drag this up like 1.5 dBs, something around there. So let's listen to the end of the build, the pre-drop, and the fill going into the drop.
Operate, dominate, elevate, generate.
So that sounds really good. One additional thing I think we can add though is I think we can add like one of these reverse crashes. So we can take one of these reverse crashes, I'll copy and I'll paste it here. And I think we can make it a bit longer so we can extend it out as long as it goes because I want this reverse crash to be like really gradual.
Operate, dominate, elevate, generate.
That's exactly the type of transition we need. So let's real quick turn off the fill so we can hear the difference it makes having that fill going into the drop.
Operate, dominate, elevate, generate.
And then we'll turn the fills back on.
Operate, dominate, elevate, generate.
So much more energy going into the drop. And that's what we need is a nice transitional sweep of energy going into the impact of that drop. So that is pretty much everything we need for the pre-drop. Now what I think we need to do is take this vocal and sprinkle it in through the verse. So when the pre-drop vocal happens, it's not just like out of context, out of nowhere.